Alright, so I wanted to make this video on vanilla World of Warcraft because there's so many videos that are out there right now on the state of the current World of Warcraft, and the Nostalrius shutdown just created this shitstorm of videos and content and forum posts and Blizzard trying to respond and petitions, and actually it's all extremely interesting, and I really wanted to give my own kind of feedback because I played World of Warcraft from day one. I loved vanilla, and it's funny as I played through some of the, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the King, and I started complaining about where the game was going and that it wasn't anything like vanilla. So many people were saying, well, vanilla wasn't that great, and I think people are seeing that, no, vanilla was that good, and I really wanted to talk about, because a lot of people were saying vanilla was good because the leveling was difficult. There's so much more than that. There's much more to it than just that. Let me move this up a little bit. It's kind of annoying me. Um, so, I mean, I want to talk about it from the aspect of a hunter, because when I first played World of Warcraft, I created a hunter, and Blizzard ruined hunters, in my opinion, when they took away their ability to do melee, and unfortunately my video doesn't show my cursor. I need to get it better. I don't do a lot of video recording. I don't do a lot of forum posting, but I was really frustrated and pissed off at Blizzard when they started putting up the post today saying that it would be difficult for them to try to create a legacy server, because I'm a software developer, been a software coder for 30 years, and I can tell you that's the biggest load of bullcrap I've ever heard. As developers, you always have source control, you always have backup copies of your code. They have everything they need, and from an architecture point of view, with the advent of virtual servers and hosting stuff in the cloud, database servers, web servers, and so many things now that weren't available 10 years ago. Creating this type of stuff from an architecture point of view would be not only easier but cheaper, and would require less maintenance and management and a smaller team. So everything that Blizzard's saying on these points is just total crap. I can tell you right now from a lot of experience, like I said, 30 years in the industry, it's just bullshit. They don't want to admit to the fact that the first game they made, Classic WoW, Vanilla WoW, was the best version of the game they ever made. They want to keep pretending that all this work they did over the past however many years is somehow great, and they keep improving. Well, they've made some changes and made some improvements, but let's face it, when I logged into this server and I had to wait in line with 4,000 people trying to get into this server just to play Vanilla WoW, it's pretty obvious that Vanilla WoW was the best iteration of this game. So when I talk about leveling from a hunter point of view, what's really cool about Vanilla WoW, at least from my point of view, is it's not just that the leveling was difficult, because my first MMO that I played was Lineage 2, and Lineage 2 was a grind, right? To get to max level took 6 months. Okay, I played a Spellhauer, I ran out there, and I threw, bombs and against, drakes, and I farmed them for 5 hours straight, and I had a blast. I enjoyed it. I came to World of Warcraft when I heard about it, and remember, Lineage 2 was click to move, too. So when I came to World of Warcraft and I created Night Elf, and I jumped up in the air, did a flip in the air, and shot an arrow at a monster, and I was using my movement keys. I mean, I thought this was the greatest fucking thing I'd ever seen. And leveling in WoW to me was easy. I'm like, what, 2 months to max level? Shit, it took me 6 months in Lineage. So I wasn't that the leveling had anything to do with my enjoyment. What it was how everything was interconnected, how everything kind of made sense. There was a story, there was a reason for doing what I was doing. I was trying to tame different pets so that I could learn different skills, so that I could, give this pet, like, he's got Furious Howl rank 1. Well, who's got Furious Howl rank 2? He's got Growl rank 2. Who's got Growl rank 3? How do I find that? Oh, I've got to go to a website, and I got to go start looking and seeing. Well, let's see. Here's, I don't even know where wolves are here, but for example, let's say this was a wolf, and I'm looking, and I say, what's his abilities? Okay, his abilities are Dive 2. But what was I looking for? I was looking for Growl 3, maybe. So you do this type of research, and you try to figure out, all these pets are different. They all have varying abilities. You start, okay, well, what's the pet family comparison? I tend to like wolves. They have a armor increase. A lot of people like to go with pure damage, so they go raptor or they go kitty. But of course, there's a difference there. Like a raptor is going to have minus 5% on health. Kitty's going to have minus 2% and has no armor bonus at all. So where raptor has 3. So I mean, you start looking at these things, and then even the diet. What's really nice is you get a bear, and holy shit, you can just feed him anything. Give him a piece of lint and he'll eat it. Which and if you had a fishing rod on you and you're in your low level, I mean, it's your pet, you just tamed him and he's constantly hungry. Well, I can just catch a fish real quick and he'll eat that. But I mean, there was so much variety in the pets. Attack speed 1. Oh my god, this is awesome. So you're looking at these things, and you're going out there, and you're trying to find these guys, and in the and it was all new then, and now there's websites and stuff that help. But even so, it's still so enjoyable to just looking at this is enjoyable. Just thinking, wow, look at all these things that I need to do, because because I need to level up these things for my pet, and my pet's not that great. When I first train him, he doesn't have hardly anything. He's got bite. He didn't have stamina and natural armor. I learned from the pet trainer, and then I trained those on my pet. If you go to your let's see. Oh my God, where am I at? Well, here's my my leveling spec. Anyways, my leveling spec for my pet is, of course, I'm going Beastmaster, which I think is great for leveling. You want your pet to take a lot of damage. The other thing I want to point out is yeah, it is hard leveling up in vanilla. And then if I were to send my pet against, let's see, there are some spiders over here. If I were to send this pet up against maybe 2 spiders that are in this area right now, there's a good chance my pet will die. I mean, and I've even I've maxed his. Here's actually the training. But I've maxed his stamina up all the way. I've maxed his armor up all the way. And even so with that, and the fact that I've maxed up his endurance and his thick hide, I've done everything I can to make my pet as tough as he can be, and he still could go up against 2 spiders right now, and probably he may die. Okay, he probably won't, but he could. And that gives you an idea of the fact that, the monsters of your level hit pretty hard. But the coolest thing to me about vanilla, what made vanilla so good was that everything mattered. It wasn't just that leveling hard was hard. Everything mattered. Like when you look at my inventory here, and this medium leather, I need this. I need to craft stuff. You know what? Because guess what? I'm wearing this fine leather tunic. I crafted this. I couldn't afford to buy armor that was better than the gray armor I had, or some quest armor I had. But I was able to level my leatherworking and craft something that was pretty good. Because right now I've got 18 silver. That's nothing. I have no money. I bought some bags here because I only had 6 slot bags. Every bag slot is like gold to me. As you're leveling up, you'll try to eke out enough money so you can get the next bag that's maybe a 10 slot. Maybe I can get another 10 slot and replace this 8 slot. Those extra 2 slots mean I don't have to go back and empty my inventory quite so fast, I have sharp arrows. I agonized over even buying sharp arrows versus rough arrows because sharp arrows cost more. To be honest, the only reason I have sharp arrows now is because when I was in Astronaut, that's the only fucking arrows they sold. I didn't even want to buy them because they were too expensive. They were like 40 copper for each stack. 40 copper, holy shit, I only got 18 silver. And then some of the other things like first aid. Of course, first aid. You want to level first aid. Holy shit, if you're dying and my pet's on people and maybe I have to heal my pet and then I got to pull a couple other mobs off of him so they're hitting me so that he doesn't die and then I'm almost dead. And then there's as you can see, there's some people here that can PvP me and just kill me and I'm going to sit around with 20% health. Excuse me. You need the bandages, man. You need them. And if you're in battlegrounds, trust me, you need them. The other thing is, doing quests, long quest chains, where like if I wanted to get into UBS, I wanted to do the long quest chain to get the key so I could open the door to UBRS. And when parties were getting together looking for a party for UBS, and people would be like, "Well, who's got the key?" I'd be like, "I got the key." You felt special because you had it, because you took time to go out there and do a long quest chain to have it. I could go to Ironforge and I could pimp myself out, and I'd say, you know what, I'll open the door for people, and you could make money. And guess what? If I charged a gold a pop at level 60 or something, that was something. That actually, I made, make 20 gold pretty quick. So those types of things, what was so cool about vanilla and going and looking at these different pits and finding the rare spawns. Let's see if I can do a search for, what was it, Death Maw? Okay, so if I want to find this guy, which is probably one of my favorite pets for a hunter in vanilla, because I'm a big wolf fan. Even though wolves aren't the best, I just like them because I like the way they look. But this is a wolf. 1.2 attack speed is excellent. Wolves have a little bit better armor than some of the other pets, and so this wolf is a little bit tankier than some of the more damaging pets, but with his attack speed 1.2, it kind of makes up for a lot of that. This is a nice pet to have, even for PvP. This guy being on some caster is going to annoy the fuck out of him. It really is. So going through that, finding where these things spawn and camping out, because all the pets are different. Like in the way the game is now, they doesn't even matter. They're all the same. Who fucking cares? but not in vanilla. You look at the different, now I've got weapons. I got fucking weapons. So I can put a couple swords on here. I can enchant those with agility. There's a lot of things you could do. I could go head-to-head against a rogue, throw on an aspect of the monkey. If I had dual weapons that had agility on them already, and I enchanted them with the highest agility I can enchant them, and if I spec'd even more into improved aspect of the monkey, I could, which sometimes I did just for fun, I could make it so that I could actually go one-on-one against a rogue and actually melee him, and he would have a hard time killing me. Which was really funny because rogues were very tough in vanilla. But if you spec your hunter right, you could make it tough for rogues to kill you, and you could annoy the fuck out of them, which is great. The world is alive in vanilla. You're running around in the world. there's people. I mean, just sitting here, I've seen so many horde walk by, flagged. They could come over here and kill me. They've been nice so far, and they haven't chosen to do so. But when I was doing quests in the Zormstrand earlier yesterday, I was killed 5 or 6 times. People, I would go over there and there's horde everywhere, and they just kill me, and I didn't care. I was like, yeah, they killed me, so what? I come back, they'd kill me again. I just keep coming back. I'm a glutton for punishment. Keep killing me. I'll write your name down on a notepad document. Guess what? When I hit 60 and if I ever see you, I will kick your fucking ass. I do make my little hit list because I remember, which I think is just another aspect of what makes the game fun. The world is alive. You're going to see people. That wherever you go, you see people. Everything in your bag means something. This leather means something. I can use this. If you pick up a recipe, that, holy shit, now I can make a Murloc scale belt. I can sell that for low-level players, and they'll buy that because that's a pretty good item. Fishing, holy crap. Okay, so I will admit, I used a fishing bot, not originally when I first played WoW. I didn't use one until I got all the way to Wrath of the Lich King. I just got so sick of fucking fishing, man. Leveling up a new character, trying to fish, it was annoying. And so finally I found a fish bot, and I didn't abuse it. I just used it to raise my cooking on a new character I was leveling up, and it was nice. I could have it do some fishing for me when I was offline. It'd fish for me. Well, in vanilla, fishing's the worst because if you're like where I'm at right now, and up in Stone Talon Mountains, my fishing skill isn't high enough. So if I go to one of the little lakes here or the ponds here and I start fishing, I may cast 30 times and raise my fishing skill 1 because, first of all, when the bobber starts moving and I click on it, I'm never going to catch anything because the lake water that I'm fishing out of is too high for my skill. So you have to fish in areas where your skill kind of matches up with that water. So my fishing is only like 25 or 26. So I still would have to go back to one of the starter areas to actually fish. Okay, I couldn't just fish from anywhere. And fishing is brutal in vanilla. It really is. It takes a long time to fish, and since my fish bot doesn't work, I'll wait a little while before I level up fishing. But if you look at my skills and stuff, you'll see that I have leveled up leatherworking, skinning. Another thing to note is, I only have 18 silver. Everything costs so much money in vanilla, which is great. I go in here and it's like, at first I couldn't afford to rank up the skills of my pet because I didn't want to spend the money on it. And then when I looked at my skills, I couldn't even afford to, there's skills here that I could have that I don't have because I don't want to pay the money for them because I can't afford it. It's like I have Eagle Eye and these different things. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to wait till later. And then so my skinning though, I do want to skin because I want to get my Black Dragon scale armor. I want to be able to skin everything that I'm killing as I'm leveling. A lot of people say, oh, to level fast leveling guy, don't even level impressions. Fuck that. To me, part of the fun of the leveling experience is you're doing everything. You don't have to level. That's another thing with when people first play WoW. It wasn't this race to 60. It wasn't a fucking race to 60. That came later on in the game. That came when Burning Crusade came out. And then it seemed like every time an expansion came out, people were doing this whole race to max level so they could get the leg up on the rating. Well, let me tell you, in vanilla, only 10% of the people even played, and I know that percentages are arbitrary, but that's actually a fairly accurate number. Only about 10% of the people in vanilla actually raided. Okay, most people didn't even raid, and a lot of times the people that raided were only raided because the PvE gear they got made them stronger for the open world PvP. You know what I mean? That was one of the reasons they did it, which to me was a really fun aspect. You weren't just raiding because I'm going to go raid and do this stupid ass progression, because to me that's not what a MMO is about. I don't want to get into this repetitive progression thing. For me it's I want to do things that make me feel like I'm growing as a character. It's like I'm living this world. I'm learning how to skin stuff. I'm killing stuff. I'm making stuff with what I skin. I've made this Black Dragon scale armor, which was really hard to make. And you know what? It made me tougher and stronger. And that, to me, is a reward in and of itself. To me, risk versus reward is everything, or maybe effort versus reward is what MMO systems should really be built on. Not some stupid-ass grinding with a bunch of people doing the same repetitive shit over and over again, because to me, that's just... I guess you could say skinning is repetitive, right? I mean, you can make the argument in so many different ways, but to me it's more fun going out there and skinning and crafting armor that means something. To me, that's more fun than doing some raid over and over again just to hope that some piece of item drops and then I have the same armor that everybody else has. Well, when I was on Doomhammer in vanilla and I created Black Dragon scale boots, it was a server first. I was the first person to make Black Dragon scale boots on the server, and I put those in the auction house, and everybody wanted to sell me their fucking kids for those boots. They're like, I want your boots, I'll give you 100 gold, or I think someone offered me 400 gold, which back in vanilla was, that's a ton of money. That's a holy shit. I probably only had maybe 20 gold on my guy at the time, maybe 40 gold, but I put them up there just because I was trolling, and I'm not much of a troll, but I was so proud that I got